not just gonna take you home, I am gonna save your home. Here we go.
It's official. Doctor Who will be hitting the big screen in cinemas across the United Kingdom and Ireland on the 31st of May 2025.
Better warn you though, limited run only.
They will be premiering the huge two-part season finale, Wish World and the Reality War, which is being called many things. Some are suggesting it's the final ever appearance for the 15th Doctor, played by Ncuti Gatwa. Some are suggesting that in fact this is the time that Doctor Who stops being a TV show. It'll break the fourth wall entirely with the help of the villainous Mrs. Flood, and the Doctor will become aware that he's in a TV show and has been for all of these years. There's also much rumour and speculation that not only will this be the last 15th Doctor episode, this will just be the last ever Doctor Who episode. We know from Russell T Davies and Disney that they haven't actually commissioned any more Doctor Who yet, but the official line has been for quite some time they need to see how Season 2 is received before they commission any more. And obviously, with all these rumours comes rumours about the 16th Doctor. Who might play them? When will they show up? I mean, the fact that we may see the 16th Doctor in a matter of weeks is kind of insane. It feels like Ncuti only just got here. But we'll discuss all of that later on in the video. We also have the consolidated 7-day figures for Doctor Who Lux. These are the viewing figures, and yeah, they're not necessarily what I was expecting, but we'll discuss that later. First, let's take a look at what sparked all of this talk and speculation in the first place. Late last night, View Cinemas, somewhere on their website, listed, you couldn't buy tickets yet, but listed that they would be showing on the 31st of May the Doctor Who two-part season finale. And whoever put that on their website was probably a normal, adjusted human being that didn't count on the fact that us Doctor Who fans would find this information. And I mean, once something hits Doctor Who Twitter, as they call it, yeah, it's the cat's out the bag, there's no hiding it. So everybody late last night on Doctor Who Twitter and early this morning was spamming posts of websites. I think Cineworld also said they were going to show it, and then The View took down their original website page about it because they'd probably released it before the embargo was supposed to come out. There were no major spoilers, but there was a little description they gave. It was just, you know, your generic, like, the Doctor and Belinda are two adventurers having an adventure. See what their adventure is in Wish World and the Reality War. There weren't any proper leaks from that. But obviously, as I say, once it hits Doctor Who Twitter, the cat is out the bag. So the official Doctor Who social media pages and the BBC have announced it this morning in its full swing. It's no longer a leak. Over on Twitter, Doctor Who said, "Watch the epic Season 2 finale on the big screen. The two-part episode Doctor Who season finale, Wish World and the Reality War, will be available in cinemas across the UK and Ireland on the 31st of May. Tickets go on sale 1st of May, so yeah, you don't need to panic, you don't need to rush to get tickets yet. They aren't even on sale. What day is it now? Okay, they're coming out in a couple of days' time. This is probably leaked a couple of days earlier than they were anticipating. But yeah, 1st of May, get your tickets. This approach is completely understandable because while people do complain about the viewing figures, and let's just briefly touch on that, because the consolidated 7-day figures for Lux are 3 million. Which is just a shame, in my opinion. I feel like I want to run into the street and be like, guys, the show's properly good now. Because I think that Lux, The Well, and The Robot Revolution deserve so much more praise and credit than they're actually getting. I think the confused release time is one of the biggest problems, which is kind of going to be rectified by the finale. I mean, we'll talk about it in a minute, but they're moving the finale episode's airtime, so it's not going to be dropping on iPlayer at 8 AM, probably because, as people are speculating, there's a big spoilery thing, regeneration at the end of the episode, maybe. But it's no surprise that they're doing this cinema release again. It may not even be because of a big regeneration at the end. It's going to be because of this. Look at the amount of money that the cinema release alone made the BBC for Doctor Who, The Legend of Ruby Sunday and Empire of Death. Because this is exactly what they did last year, and I can't lie, if Doctor Who is to continue, I really hope they keep doing this. It's a fantastic, it's so hype to go to the cinema and watch Doctor Who. I mean, if any of you guys listen to the Rest is Entertainment podcast, Richard Osman recently discussed how he thinks that cinemas should just start showing TV. They could do big bingeable things, and I 100% agree, because in this day and age where cinemas are somewhat struggling to make money off things that aren't just big kids films, the fact that the Minecraft movie made so much money is mental to me. But I guarantee you there'd be loads of Doctor Who fans if you aired season 2 in the cinema. Loads of Doctor Who fans would go and watch it. I would. That would be such a fun experience. And I get the approach of not every episode, season finales, big 2-part season finales, that makes sense for a cinema experience. There is some confusion as to when the Reality War is actually going to air, because one of these pages on the View website said that the Reality War will be seen, if you watch it in cinemas, you'll be watching it a day early, which would be on the Friday. But I don't think that can be right. I think the actual scenario is going to be, around 7 p.m. or 7 a.m. It will air live on BBC One. It won't have gone on iPlayer the day before, and then it will come out at that corresponding time across the globe on Disney Plus as well. Which does also lead me to believe, we'll talk about the speculation in a second, but if they've just sort of gone, screw Disney, we're having this one as a big finale, it's not necessarily looking like Disney are going to keep going with the show. They might have just gone, yeah, okay, BBC, have your airtime back for the finale. Because I do really think that the confused air times have impacted the viewing figures for this season quite a lot. Also, I feel like air Doctor Who in winter, viewing figures are always higher. They're airing it as British summer's starting to come in, and everyone, when it's sunny, is not going to go inside and watch Doctor Who. They're going to be out at the pub or playing or whatever people do. This is also alongside the fact that Doctor Who may not even air on BBC One for the Eurovision episode, which is mental. Russell's talked about, I've mentioned it in a prior video, but the Eurovision episode might be completely knocked out of the schedule on live TV. It'll still drop on Disney Plus and iPlayer at the usual time of 8 a.m, but it simply may not air on BBC One on that day because the football may overrun, and then Eurovision afterwards, there may be no time to squeeze in the 45 minutes that the episode requires. But let's discuss all of the speculation and theories. Why is everyone once again utterly convinced that Ncuti Gatwa, I say once again, I think people have made up their mind for quite a while that Ncuti Gatwa may be leaving the show. I'm still incredibly 50-50 on this. There was that musical piece from the Reality War that did sound like a regeneration. Once again, if you want to hear that, go and check out one of my other videos. They played it on Radio 1. Murray Gold was asked to pick his favourite thing he'd composed from the upcoming season, and he played this piece of music, which is from the finale, and very much sounded like a regeneration. But also, that's Doctor Who fans thinking a lot into it. Would the BBC really release regeneration music? Really? I feel like that would be a fantastic misstep. But also, I think it could just be big celebratory Doctor Saved the Day music. It's a big climactic version of the 15th Doctor's theme. It could just be when he triumphs. We do know, however, that there were, I don't know how major they were, but I think they were a week-long thing of reshoots back in February for Doctor Who Season 2's finale. All the main cast were back on set. So what were they filming? My current theory, once again, this is theories, this isn't leaks or whatever, it's pure speculation, but I think they've currently got 2 endings in the can, and I think Russell is maybe hoping that Disney were going to pick up the show before they reach the Season 2 finale, so that they could just show the normal, the original ending to the Reality War, rather than the changed up version, because I think this is the first time ever Doctor Who has had to go back and do big reshoots. I think it's almost unheard of in Doctor Who history, probably because they don't normally have the money to do that, but I think they may have 2 alternate endings. One, which is a bookmark ender to the show, like they don't know when it's coming back, so they have, rather than a cliffhanger, they wrap up the story and have it end. And then the other ending is just the original ending for season 2 as written, which possibly has a cliffhanger ending leading into a season 3. I think if they have reshot, there is the chance that the reshoot is the 15th Doctor's regeneration. So that leads us to the question of, who's going to play the 16th Doctor? Will we even see the 16th Doctor at the end of the reality war? I don't know what I think. I think whatever they've shot, they'll have left completely open-ended. I think it's similar to what they did with like Christopher Eccleston or Jodie Whittaker, where they didn't know who the next Doctor would be, so they just shot up to the mid-regeneration point and then left it there. I think when they were doing these reshoots back in February, they won't have filmed the 16th Doctor. It would have leaked. Like, think how much about Doctor Who leaks online. Would they really have been able to keep a 16th Doctor secret for this long? I say that, but they were able to keep Ncuti's announcement a complete surprise until the day it happened. So it's not completely impossible, but also I think it is unlikely. The more I think about it, the more I think they probably haven't cast the 16th Doctor. There's a tiny chance they'll have, like, Russell and them will have it in the back pocket, ready to add on to the end of this episode, but I think the most realistic outcome, if there's a regeneration, I'm still not convinced there will be. If I'm honest, I think it's a 50-50. But if there is a regeneration at the end, I think it will just end with us, like, maybe the Doctor dips out of shot or something, or the camera pans away so you can't see who they've regenerated into. But I think, yeah, it will be like how they originally intended the 13th Doctor's regeneration, to just pan off into the sunset and we don't see who the new Doctor is. And I think it would be utterly bizarre if that happens, if Disney don't pick up the show. In a way, it will be really cool because for the next however many years until someone does something with Doctor Who in an official capacity, there will be no Doctor. Like, when the show went off air during the classic era, Sylvester McCoy was just sort of the Doctor of the Wilderness years for many, many years. His adventures were expanded media, Big Finish, etc. The show did continue. Then you got Paul McGann. Then Paul McGann was technically the Doctor. Whereas here, for the first time ever, Doctor Who will not be on the air, and we will not know who the 16th Doctor is, which is bizarre, and also makes me think, if they know by the time Season 2's finale ends that Disney aren't bringing back Doctor Who, and neither are the BBC, they should just go with the original ending. I don't know which I'd rather, to be honest, because there's so many possibilities if the show's not on air. I think most likely scenario, at a guess, is maybe Ncuti's left. I don't think they've cast the 16th Doctor yet, and I think it'll end on an open-ended regeneration. Disney may or may not pull out, depending on how the viewing figures do for them, depending on how much money and revenue it brings in for Disney+, and then I think the BBC will try and partner with another company to get a new season of Doctor Who made, probably with a lesser budget, but that's not always a bad thing. RTD1 had a lesser budget, and look how good that was. If they have cast the 16th Doctor, I assume it'll be someone Russell has worked with before, because this situation is similar to what happened with Eccleston into David Tennant. So I could see maybe someone like Lydia West, who has been suspiciously absent from Doctor Who for someone that Russell's worked with twice on 2 hit shows. I could see maybe Lydia West being the 16th Doctor. I've said she should be the companion, but I could see her playing the Doctor. I definitely think if there is a 16th Doctor cast, they won't have been holding big auditions, that it will be someone that Russell knows and can rely on, similar to, as I say, how he worked with David Tennant on Casanova, then brings him over to Doctor Who. But, as ever, let me know what you're thinking in the comments down below. Who would you like to play the 16th Doctor? Do you think there'll be a regeneration? Are you excited? Are you going to go and watch this in cinemas? Let me know all of that in the comments down below. Thank you very much for watching. Once again, I appreciate all of you. The support right now is great. The channel's growing every day. Really appreciated. Check out the Patreon if that's your sort of thing. Early access to podcasts and stuff. Loads of fun behind the scenes content for our fan films too. Thanks for watching. I'll stop rambling. Goodbye.
Don't forget to click below and subscribe to the official Confused Adipose YouTube channel.
I will destroy you.
She's not seen a single
No,
episode.
I've watched your episodes.
Keep these sonic screwdrivers.
What else am I saying about the film? Don't watch this one.